One of Cameroon's frontline Makossa singers, Nono Flavie, hails from the west region of Cameroon, but then she sings in Douala. And talking about Douala, Douala is situated in the coastal belt of Cameroon, and of course, it is the economic nerve center of the country, not just Cameroon, but of course, of Central Africa. And from the Central African sub-region, we now receive our main correspondent who has been covering the countries that make up this great sub-region. Ifaana Kuala is based in Douala, and from the banks of River Wuri, we now say welcome to African Cocktail, Ifaana.
An army of sheep led by a lion can defeat an army of lions led by a sheep. So goes the Central African wise saying. And it is from Central African sub-region that I'm filling in. Ernest and listeners of African Cocktail, good afternoon and welcome. I'm reaching from the banks of Wuri, 42 miles from the giant Mount Cameroon, which is the highest in Central and West Africa. We shall not be talking about Mount Cameroon, otherwise known as the chariot of the gods, though. But today we'll be talking about Gabon, where recently events are confirming the unpalatable fact that the Central African sub-region does not operate as a bloc and needs to do so urgently. Some 100 migrants are yet to come out of frustration after being flushed out of Gabon. They were among 500 or so migrants from Cameroon, Chad, and Central African Republic detained for 10 months in Gabon and accused of mining unlawfully. Some of the flushed migrants have been recounting their bitter experiences encountered during these times in detention. While some have told stories of deteriorating health while in prison, others have reported that they were deprived of food and their right as migrants. Perhaps the sad story comes from those from Central African Republic who said Gabonese authorities were quite aware that their country had become a no-go zone following last year's war that saw Francis Bozi's troubled. Yet they were kicked out of Gabon where they had come to seek refuge. This recent incident has raised more questions as to whether the Central African Economic and Monetary Community, CEMAC, really bothers about the concerns of citizens that make up the bloc. Unlike in other sub-regions in the continent, traveling from one country to the other in Central Africa is a bitter experience. Well, the hope is that things will change someday, somehow.
Definitely, Ifaana, the hope is that things will change someday. And as usual, the sub-region has things to smile about. And talking about these smiles, we hear some children in Cameroon fast getting closer to their dreams of becoming great actors in future. They have started working towards this. So we hear Ifaana.
Yes, and then the ages of the said children range from 7 to 17, and they are being trained as part of the popular Kids Holiday Workshop program that kicked off in 2008 and initiated by Mbang Joseph Song. They are being tortured by award-winning Cameroonian actor Anourin Wenebom, who played lead character in the much talked about Nina's Dowry that has backed more than 30 international awards. According to the actor, the children are being drilled on performance techniques and other aspects in the act of acting. Organizers of the Kids Holiday Workshop, taking place in Boya, also told African Cocktail that the children are being drilled in music, dance, photos, and photography. At the end of each session, we were told the children perform a play written by Anourin. What a way of making their holiday useful. They're laying the foundation stone today to build a better tomorrow for the children.
Right. Useful holidays indeed. But Ifaana, some actors have gone beyond training and are now delivering and making great strides in the industry. Some of them are the ones who will lift trophies at this weekend in Yaoundé, when the 14th edition or the 2014th edition of the African Film Festival dubbed Ecran Noir rounds off. We hear Yaoundé has been the film capital of Africa since last Saturday. Ifaana.
A film capital that has attracted scores of filmmakers and artists from all over the world. And today is the 5th day, and since the guests to this year's Ecran Noir Film Festival have been appreciating motion pictures produced on the black race by black filmmakers worldwide. As usual, activities of the festival include workshops, conferences, and screening films are in contest at the end of the festival awards, and at the end of the festival, awards will be dished out. For the first time, films produced in English-speaking divide of Cameroon have made a greater impact. For 10 movies selected in the Cameroonian category, 8 are movies done in English, an outcome that has been quite inspiring to producers from this divide. The Cannes is the biggest film festival taking place in Africa after FESPACO in Burkina Faso. It is run by one of Cameroon's most renowned filmmaker, Basek Bakobo. We shall be back on this story next week, and I shall tell you what is happening in Yaoundé and tell you everything about the Cannes. Ernest and listeners of African Cocktail, I must take my leave now to settle on a hot pot of ndole and miondo, one of our traditional delicacies here. You do have a nice time and take care of yourself and of each other.
Ifaana, you make me salivate, eh? Ndole and miondo, how I wish you could ship some to me here. Well, Ndole and Mionda is definitely what my very good friend Crystal Beauty of the Crystal Beauty Show also loves. And talking about Crystal Beauty, she will be up with African Tele Review just right ahead in this edition of African Cocktail. Don't go away yet. We still have a film producer to tell us about Rejected, which is an upcoming Cameroonian movie whose initial phase would kick off anytime from now. 19 minutes past 1. We are slowly but steadily getting to the end of this 58th episode of African Cocktail, coming to you from Africa Radio.